Parents with adopted kids. Why did you choose adoption? I never wanted to be a dad until life forced me to become one. It all happened on a random Tuesday when I got the call about David. We'd been coworkers for years, but more importantly, friends. Not best friends or anything, but we grabbed beers sometimes and talked sports. Still, I didn't expect to be the one named guardian of his 12-year-old daughter, Sophie. David had never mentioned it, and honestly, I wasn't sure I was even qualified. The first day Sophie moved into my apartment was awkward. She didn't say a word, just stood there gripping her backpack, eyes glued to the floor. The first 3 weeks were pretty much the same. No talking, no eye contact, just a thick silence between us. I wasn't exactly Mr. Social Skills either, just a software engineer used to my own space, predictable routines, and zero responsibility for anyone else's emotions. I tried everything I could think of. Ordering pizza every night because who doesn't love pizza? Awkwardly buying stacks of art supplies, hoping she'd like at least one thing. Nothing seemed to help. Until one night around 2 a.m., I heard quiet sobbing coming from her room. When I peeked in, Sophie was sitting on her bed holding a photo album. Her shoulders shook with silent grief. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat beside her quietly. Stayed until morning came. That night didn't solve everything, but it was a start. School started rough for Sophie. On her first day, she had a massive panic attack right there in front of everyone. The school called me at work, and before I even knew what I was doing, I'd taken emergency leave. For 2 weeks straight, I spent hours just sitting in the school parking lot, watching the front doors, so she'd know someone was always there. My boss warned me it might cost me my promotion. For the first time, I didn't care. When Sophie's birthday rolled around, I thought I had it planned perfectly. Cake, gifts, a quiet dinner at home. But when everything fell apart, Sophie finally spoke up, softly, telling me her dad used to take her stargazing. Stargazing meant driving 3 hours away from city lights to a dark sky reserve, which meant my anxiety about wide open spaces and night driving went off the charts. But something in her eyes told me I had to do it anyway. Under the massive glittering sky, Sophie started talking. Real talking. Stories about David. Funny, silly, heartbreaking. Suddenly my chest ached in ways I didn't think possible. My grief became our grief. It felt like the start of something real between us. But our bond really got tested at her school's talent show. She stood frozen on stage, staring at the empty chair her dad would have sat in. Without even thinking, I jumped out of my seat, rushed onto the stage. I whispered softly into her ear, "I'm right here, kiddo." Then I took David's place in the audience. Later, she told me that was exactly what her dad always said. Then life threw another curveball. I got my dream job offer across the country the same week we got evicted from David's old apartment. I turned it down immediately, bought a modest house nearby instead, just to keep Sophie close to her friends in school. Stability was something she desperately needed, and I finally realized I needed it too. But just as things calmed down, David's estranged parents stormed into the picture. They demanded custody. Sophie overheard them call her a burden. Overnight, she retreated completely into herself, convinced she'd lose yet another family. I poured everything I had into lawyers and late nights working. Eventually, I stood in court and admitted something I'd quietly realized months before. I loved Sophie like my own daughter. On our 1-year anniversary, my younger brother had a terrible accident. It triggered memories of my parents' fatal crash. That night, everything hit me at once. I broke down alone in my room. Then there was a gentle knock. Sophie appeared holding 2 mugs of hot chocolate, the same thing I'd always given her after nightmares. She sat quietly next to me, finally whispered how grateful she was that I chose her, even when it was hard. Then she handed me a handmade card. "I love you too." When the adoption finally became official, Sophie decided to hyphenate her last name, Mills Reed, honoring both her dad and me. In the courthouse, surrounded by friends, she hugged me for the first time, whispered softly that sometimes family is who finds you when you're lost, echoing the words I'd once said to her. Turns out she'd been listening all along.